Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be checking out the Garden of Remembrance short from Naoko Yamada, and we're very excited to be here doing just that. So I kind of stuffed up. I was meant to have something else here. There was meant to be a poll that didn't eventuate. Again, as I mentioned previously, kind of busy this week. I'm actually employed, which is pretty crazy. Point being, this is like a stopgap thing, right? It's something that I probably should check out anyway, considering I'm such a Naoko Yamada fan. There'll be more stuff next week, a new series, something to that effect. Please look forward to it. So I'll get up the ANN here and we'll have a quick look. This thing's kind of under the radar. I mean, pretty obviously, Naoko Yamada's coming out with her newest feature film, or has done relatively recently, with Kimi no Iro. It airs in Australia in March, which frustrates me to no end. It actually shits me. So again, I intend to watch that in a cinema. I don't know when I'll have the opportunity to do that, but that's kind of the goal for me personally. But yeah, this one's kind of like under the radar. It's kind of like the next thing that Naoki Yamada did with Science Saru, or well, technically she kind of did it before. Yeah, this is so weird. This thing's been available for such a long time, because it kind of came out similar time to Heike Monogatari, right? Because I'm trying to get the timeline together. But again, Naoko Yamada leaves Kyoto Animation. Again, there's a whole bunch of extra stuff there about Kyoto Animation, of course, as well. We don't need to get into it here and now. But again, joining Science Saru, working as one of the major creative forces there, of course. Working on Heike Monogatari, Garden of Remembrance, and now this. I believe she did a little bit of work with some other Science Saru stuff as well, just here and there, I think. Point being, if we pop on over to the staff here, and if I do that and line us up a little bit, Naoko Yamada seems to be the most important person in this thing, considering she's directing it, she wrote the screenplay, she storyboarded it basically by herself, she was chief storyboarder, and she was unit direction. What? That's insane. Also, music is by Lovely Summer-chan. Let's check that out. I don't even know what this is. Yeah, sure. What? Who is Lovely Summer-chan? Whatever. Point being that, hey, I mean, we can do the Naoko Yamada thing. I can show you why Naoko Yamada's good. Burst onto the scene with a lot of stuff with Kyoto Animation early on. Some particular standout episodes of Clannad and Full Metal Panic, I believe, as well. Yeah, a bit of key animation there, a little bit. Episode directing a little bit on Lucky Star, which was relatively early as well, of course. A little bit on Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, which is the second season, I believe. Sure. Point being, at that time, she was also making her directorial debut, or a TV anime directorial debut, with K-On! If you guys don't know this about me, and potentially this is your first video on the channel, I don't know, but K-On's the best anime. It's not even my favorite, it's just the best one, and anyone that disagrees is probably incorrect. So again, the person that's the chief creative force behind that, and the second season, which is arguably better, is amazing. She's incredible. Next on the list was Tamako Market, followed by Tamako Love Story. Fantastic film there and TV series, which I have not seen but have heard good things. Around a similar time as well, taking on a series director role for Sound Euphonium. I've kind of reacted to Sound Euphonium on the channel, kind of. So again, you can watch that at your leisure, but she's very good. Directing the first episode by herself as well. Well, not by herself, you know what I mean. Very soon after that as well, she has the biggest breakthrough of her career with A Silent Voice, a film that I have my misgivings about, but is still obviously fantastic. It's just really good. And again, the parts that are really good are Naoko Yamada. I think there's a little bit of stuff with the adaptation that I think kind of goes pear-shaped, but that's neither here nor there. It's obviously very good and continues to be extremely popular till this day. The next thing that Naoko Yamada worked on in a large capacity was the Liz and the Bluebird film off of the Sound Euphonium series. It is my favorite movie. It's my favorite movie. So, again, I like Naoko Yamada quite a bit. I reacted to this as well. It is breathtakingly beautiful. It is very good. Weirdly enough, she did some work with A1. I think Visual Prison is A1 as well. Unit directing the opening for Love is War? Oh, I didn't know that. That's a bit weird. Sure. Anyway, then the story gets a bit sad. We don't need to talk about it here and now. Moves to Science Saru. Heike Monogatari. Extremely underrated show. It's fantastic. Garden of Remembrance, which we're watching here today, would have been the next one. And then, of course, Kimi no Iro, or Your Colors. What are we calling it here? The Colors Within is what we're calling it, of course. Okay. I've heard myriad names for this film, so I just want to make sure we're getting the right one there. I don't think I missed anything too big with Naoko Yamada. I don't think. I do like the ending songs for Chinibyo as well. They're very good, so shout outs to that. But yeah, we'll jump off of, you know, Naoko Yamada for now and focus on some people that I don't know like everything about already. First up, we have Etsuko Mizusawa, who did the original character designs for the film, or film, short, it's weird. Sure, did the manga Hana no Zubora Meshi. What is this? Oh yeah, I can kind of see this character design in line with the ones that I saw up here. Yeah, kind of. They got fat faces, and I don't mind that. I think that's pretty cool. Apparently it's a cooking slice of life manga? Sure, we'll have that. That sounds pretty good. As well as Hello, This is Terumi, which is a manga that also had an OVA. This thing is a comedy romance, and again, this kind of... it'd be weird to say chibi character designs, but kinda. At least a little bit. And yeah, very short work. I could probably just like read this now. I probably could. But I won't. So that's a fun connection. I wonder how that link up came to be. Kind of Naoko Yamada and Etsuko Mizusawa. Maybe she was a fan, you never know. Character design from there is by Moang. So the original character designs were by the other person. This is Moang doing the actual character designs, who seems to be mostly a key animator. Any other character design work at all? No. Interesting credit. I feel like I've heard this name before. Yeah, just... as of recently, I feel like this person's kind of blowing up. Yeah, if I look at most things here, like a lot of these things are very recent. Some work on Frierin's opening? Sure. Bocchi the Roku? Sure. Apothecary Diaries episode 4? Isn't that episode amazing? Yeah, this is the one that was directed by China, right? I think so. Most certainly is, yes. Okay, this, yeah, interesting credit for sure. So you designed the characters, huh? Yeah. Maybe it's just because they're both like one name animators, but that's a cool link up. Anyway, we're not talking about Apothecary Diaries. Who else am I looking at here? Aoi Shimada. This would be the last person that I'll look at. And mostly background art. A little bit of art on Chihaya Furu Season 2. Sure, very cool. Oh, this is the connection. Heike Monogatari working on a lot of different art stuff there. Clearly, and the chief art supervisor on The Colors Within. Clearly impress Yamada. Yamada's worked with them again twice, so sure. Twilight Wings is always a good one to see as well. One Piece fan letter, very good one to see as well. Premiere, a little bit of Studio Trigger there. Yeah, this thing seems quaint. I like this. We're not going to look at this image too much because I think this thing's like 15 minutes long, so... again, let's just like go bring it up. I think that's the best way to go. But of course, I must check out my patrons first and foremost. So again, this video is kind of weird, but again, if you wanted to see what's on the channel replacing this, patreon.com/Animiddo is linked in the description below. You can click on it and have a look. See what ends up winning the next poll. That could be cool. Either way, many people have done this, up to and including Mickey Babbers, Strauss++, Bananarama Hamadama-sama, Bobbin, Cheberibi, Dapper Dwarf, Domobot, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Ferdinand Hernando, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Fusel, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Greybeard, Gus N, Hans Peter, Ika, Inzuchi, Iria, Yako Yavanen, Jacob R, Joran, Kelvin, Clem, Nosta, Cot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Marsh, Master Detective, Mistake Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nico Lane, Parnick, Pencil Sharp 333, Ragashingo, Ronlad BNK, Saint Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Fueco, Warpv, Without a Net, Yuankai Shu, Yuki Ali, Zach, Akomancer, Binchi, Voodoo Chili, Funny Fat Guy, Ice, Matthew Bratcher, and Ron Tiki. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. Let's dive in here. This thing's short. I believe it doesn't have much dialogue. I think I've heard that about it. So we'll go in with that perspective as well, I think. And yeah, let's just have a good time. Garden of Remembrance, the short by Naoko Yamada, coming right up. Rightio, I have Garden of Remembrance up there ready to go. 17 minutes and 45 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. As for that copy, it's the one authored by Orphan on Nya, if you wanted that specific one. Again, as I said, I don't think this thing has many subtitles, but again, it's got that subset if you wanted that subset along with it. Either way, there'll be a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah. Flower. Painter. Painter painting flower. Crank it. Maybe. Or it's about to be really loud. We'll see. Okay, I see the vision. I was about to say you painted in the wrong spot. Bit of Bob Ross going on. Just happy little accidents. Three colors. Red, blue, purple. And more flowers. And a very atmospheric kind of soundscape so far. Many colors. What am I looking at? Sand? Some kind of geyser? Coffee? Whirlpool? Character? Donut? Oh, I'm hungry now. The mix of colors again, those same three colors. Huh, this is a really cool shot. Reminds me of Look Back, first shot of Look Back. Oh yeah, this is cool. The colors are really cool. Guitar. Gaming. Sumo whiskey. Music. Emoji. Alarm. 8:30. Snoozing the alarm. She's just like me for real. Okay, there's a lot of character here early. What are the emojis? Huh? Do they know what that combination of emojis means? Generally? Gotta burst that yolk. Come on now. What are you doing? Interesting. So it's a different day. Meaning through repetition, of course. Almost fully Cooley vibes a little bit. I like the outfits. The shirts have been good thus far. Okay, a little bit more of a different kind of breakfast. Are you employed? I feel like I'm going insane. Here we go, we keep going. Yeah, the shirts are fucking cool. It's just like a cool night guy. Bit of an omelette type situation this time. Sausages, eggs, and rice is like a crazy combo. Is the room like she kicked a can that time? Is it getting a little bit dirtier? Fingers all weird too. Finally, a different shot. Shot of the legs, Naoko Yamada. Has to be. Every time. The one thing that people know about her. Yeah. Okay, a change. A different character. Yes. We are cultivating a different vibe? Most certainly. Extravagant. Prim proper. Well put together. Compared to... What's to say that she's getting, you know, up when her alarm actually goes off? Oh, of course you're an artist. No, this makes sense now. Oh, the canvases. I'm so dumb. Okay, I'm so dumb. Donut. I'm trying to read the back some more. The soundtrack's very pretty, though. Three cups. So again, if we're doing color association, the main one we've been with is probably that first flower, that kind of orange ready one. Then we have to figure out who's who from there. Into the whiskey again. A bit of actual diegetic sound. I too fuck with alcohol. But maybe that's, you know, stopping you from going to sleep or waking up on time, I guess. Manga? Bit of Yui in that. There's your flowers again, your colors. So do you not know each other? Question mark? I do like the character designs. They almost feel like, you know, the side characters in Dragon Maid, kind of like that a little bit. What's a cucumber horse? What? 2 flowers. There you go. What is that meant to say? Yeah, we're some kind of trio. Yeah, I get the color thing, guys. So what is that? Because that's what was happening before. It's like a fertilizer? Okay, the song changed. Yeah, this stuff again. I don't even know who this bloke is. Fantastic. Brilliant. Wonderful. Yeah. Love the song. Two hands? This isn't allowed. But where does the glasses girl come into it? We've doubled up on breakfast. Hold up. Where's Glasses Chan? This is comfy, though. Meaning through repetition, by the way. Well, that was cute. Mm-hmm. Sick. Oh my god. Moving out. Oh yeah. Blue. Well, there you go. Thank you for the credits to friendship development. What was that? Why did that say friendship development? Okay. Anyway, that aside, that was pretty good. I liked that. I was just confused by a lot of it. Which again, I just didn't know scope. Scope's pretty small, guys. It's just I have some theories as to what it's about, but again, we'll get into it. It's not really even yeah, there's a couple songs there. Gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of like not even you can't even like figure out what's happening. It's kind of just like happens at you. It's a weird one. It was good though. It was very, very good. Very well directed. Very good animation. Liked the character designs. Really liked the character designs. Makes me want to read the mangas. Very cute. I think more than anything else, that just made me feel happy. I like feeling happy. I guess I'm so used to Naoko Yamada, at least lately, and at least having a sense of melancholy to go along with the beauty. This thing's just pretty happy. There's moments of melancholy, I guess. Kind of the same day repeating over and over again, and a little bit of kind of tiredness based off of that. I think that's what we're getting at a little bit. And then she meets Boy, and then Boy changes her entire world. And then we kind of break out of that cycle, or at least find solace in doing that cycle with other people, right? It becomes fun again, you know? And again, big picture stuff, I think this is very much an ode to, I mean, the period of my life that I'm in right now, if I'm honest, right? Kind of between school and, you know, marriage, end of school and marriage, not to delineate life into such like clear kind of distinctive points, but again, you're kind of just vibing. What am I going to do this Saturday? Who knows? And again, when you have kids and become an adult and even have a serious partner, move out, move into your own home, all these other things, you have a little bit more structure there. And I think that's kind of what this is. Like, it's an ode to the lack of structure, I guess, that comes with this period of living your life. But again, we'll get into it. I'll bring up the episode proper and we'll go back through it. I just want to read like somebody else's interpretation maybe and get like, I guess, an external read again. Obviously I'll watch through it again, of course, but and read those lyrics too. But yeah, maybe just some external stuff will get me on the right track. Okay, we're going to give this another look, because one of my early interpretations, right, is that the film's told in a weird order. Film short, you know what I mean. Okay, because I was like, I feel like there's this melancholy, especially the first part of the film, right? I feel like there's a sadness there, and I'm like, okay, so when is this going to come through? Clearly we have three characters as delineated from the different flowers and whatever, and are we going to pay off on that at any point? Like, what's going on with that kind of stuff? I was waiting for this third character to enter the equation, but the entire time I was ignoring what was happening in front of me, as well as the lyrics of the song, which go into this quite a little bit as well. We must remember the last line here, this is goodbye. Essentially, the start of the movie is the doldrums after your, like, lover has passed away. I feel like the boy's passed away, right? And she used to have all these really fantastic memories with him, and she was very happy and full of life. And again, this is all through kind of this portion where we kind of blow out the animation and all that kind of stuff, right? So then it becomes a conversation of is this the ignition point, right? This is the spark. Seeing these flowers reminds you of everything because they're her like favorites as well or something, right? And then you start to draw again, and then you get a couple more of those flowers, and then you again use those flowers to think about the things you're thinking about, and then we kind of explode from there. then you're painting more and more. The place is getting more vibrant. And then you remember him. Or maybe this was back in the day anyway. Weird. Yeah. Oh, you're pouring... Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Oh. It's not fertilizer. It's ashes. Okay. Alright, we understand it now. Okay, cool. I just missed that. I was being dumb. I didn't understand why I should be throwing ashes. Yeah, okay, alright. So this recontextualizes the whole start, right? Because the start is like meaning through repetition basically personified, right? It's like the same thing for a big long stretch here. Even that same little kind of doldrum-y kind of soundtrack that's playing, like, doesn't quite have the lyrics yet, doesn't quite have the oomph. And only after we pick the guitar up and kick out of that section, even get into the alcohol a little bit, that we actually start to get some more context and some more feeling to it and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I think now that we know what we know, we should watch from the start. I think that's the best thing to do, right? I don't know where I'll put this part in the video, maybe pretty early on, but just know that the rest of the video is kind of recorded without me processing this at the right time, because I came to yet another epiphany about this, and it involves Naoko Yamada's personal life in a pretty direct way, and her former relationship with a certain animation studio. If it isn't clear to you from, I guess, the rest of Naoko Yamada's filmography after kind of post Kyoto Animation, if it isn't kind of clear to you how important that studio is to her and how heartbreaking the tragedy there for her was, then I don't know what you're looking at, man. I really don't. She clearly sees a lot of herself in this person that's in the doldrums, in the kind of post of a tragedy, right? Needs, a new space to breathe new life into stuff, all that kind of... Like, Science Saru is that new home at the end of the film, right? Like over here. That kind of new place, that new horizon that she's kind of found with Science Saru. Yeah, definitely. Because, this is like Naoko Yamada, like, autobiographical in a lot of ways, I think. And channeling so much creativity through the boyfriend character, too. And again, Kyoto Animation's so very creative. We have people painting, we have people playing guitars. Like, these are the experiences that she will not get anymore based off the lack of these people in her life, based on the tragedy, right? And then we can even get a little bit darker and say, hey, like, why is she pouring ash? Think about it, right? Yeah, that's kind of crazy too. That's the whole nother layer to this that I didn't comprehend at the time. And again, this isn't a kind of one-off thing. This is a trend now. Because we must remember this one too. This TV anime, Science Saru, Heike Monogatari, Naoko Yamada sees herself so much in this character of Biwa. Like, so very much. This person that's forced to kind of recount the tragedy, to tell the story, to play the music, to keep these people alive through story almost as well, right? And remember and pray. This is so fucking deep. I wonder if we're going to get into this with the new feature film as well. I wonder if it's going to dive into similar stuff. Clearly, again, she's just heartbroken by what happened. Clearly based on the art that she's making. And again, using this art to kind of process that grief and kind of come out on the other side is so very powerful. Again, this thing's brilliant. This thing is just brilliant. And again, I just know that the rest of the video doesn't really have that context within it, but just know that I know it now, and I'm saying it, I guess. This is good. Again, my first interpretation isn't wrong. It's just really sad now. It still is an ode to this time in your 20s, I think, right? But it's also... it's a memorial for it as well. It's an understanding that things will never be the same again. I'll never have this one love again. I'll never kind of find my peace in this one place again, if you know what I mean. Like, at the end of the... But the end of the piece here also speaks to, like, rebirth and, like, cycles, right? Because this is a new character, and she's moving in with her significant other, and they're going to have a great time in this apartment, right? It demonstrates that the protagonist has moved on. Like, she's moved on, right? But by the very end of this thing. But this place will always hold a lot of significance for her and all that kind of stuff. But she's also, through looking at the flowers and processing that kind of stuff, she's able to make peace and find her next cycle of her life, right? and moving on and so forth, right? I think she should get with the florist chick. I think that'd be a cool idea. Anyway, whatever. Let's go back to the start. I think it's way more clear to see what we're doing now, and maybe that'll change up my interpretation on a rewatch, I guess. So these flowers, they're not quite poppies, but they look like poppies, I think. Blue poppies and purple poppies and red poppies, I think. So I don't know if this is as big of a thing in the US. Excuse me as I click the wrong button. There we go, that's better. The red poppy is a symbol of remembrance for those who died or suffered in war and a symbol of a peaceful future. So again, it doesn't take a genius to see how this applies to what we just watched. Now with all that context, Remembrance Day is also very apt considering the name of the short as well. So when we pop back over here to the piece, now we get a lot of context as to why she's drawing the flower that she's drawing, I think. I believe it's a red poppy, it looks like it. I'm actually receiving more data that this is an anemone, I believe, which is a type of flower that varies in meaning based on color, culture, and occasion, but here we have red and pink symbolizing forsaken love or death. Now that would also fit quite well, I think. I think that one's the one we're probably going with here. Purple symbolizes protection from evil or anticipation. Anticipation's interesting. Do we have a blue? Symbolizes the arrival of spring, protection, and anticipation. So both are anticipation in their own weird way. Spring and protection, spring coming out of winter into spring as that kind of metaphor makes sense, is kind of this rebirth, this moving on. You know, I'm kind of sitting in the Garden of Remembrance. None of the flowers are in bloom. It's cold outside. It's fucked. Spring arrives through that blue flower, and I'm able to actually have joy again and grow new flowers and move on to the next year. That kind of stuff. If you think about it in the year cycle, again, over in Japan, you would come out of winter come kind of February, right? March is the first kind of month of spring for you guys, I think. So again, that would kind of match that kind of rebirth idea, the start of a new year almost, you know? So again, that's the drawing of these three different flowers. Now, I was seeing something squarely like, hey, we have three characters here, we have three flowers, let's associate a character with each flower, which I don't think that's entirely correct, right? It could be an interpretation, but I think they're all just meaning to kind of symbolize the process of getting over somebody's death, I guess. We come out of that section where she's painting that, and we just get a repeated sequence where we get all these different flowers kind of thrown at the screen almost, just kind of up in the air haphazardly. It feels like potentially somebody like throwing them without a care, like tossing things up, like you would toss something when you're looking for something, when you're looking for a particular clothing item or that kind of thing. We also have the stark white background in kind of contrast to the rest of the thing, which is very colorful, so this is meaning to say something. This seems like in the wake of the death, like this is the kind of meaning we have. This is like symbolizing meaningless, I guess. And the white blown out background kind of symbolizing that wintry motif that I just spoke about as well, I feel. Now this here makes a lot of sense as well. This is clearly ash. This is ash that is being poured into the ocean, right? Or at least the water, potentially the garden. Again, there's a few different interpretations there, I think. And that ash, that kind of whirlpool of the ash then transforms into like a morning cup of coffee, into a tea, that kind of thing, right? And this is what threw me for a loop, right? We have this cutesy pastel kind of color scheme, right? Very vibrant, kind of cool highlights on the line work, all that kind of stuff. And this is actually somebody in the wake, like depression, in the wake of somebody's death. Like I just didn't see that kind of color language wise like straight away, where I probably should have. Specifically as well, all this art that she's done facing away from everything as well, as we see in the corner. Like, I don't want to think about that stuff anymore. Again, through art and music itself, that was a conduit for me, you know, my relationship with the guy. So I don't want to experience that stuff again. I'm just going to kind of go around in circles and be depressed. I believe the purple is the mix between the red and the blue, potentially as well, because we have kind of the blue of the boy and the kind of pinkish red of the girl character here kind of mixing together, and we kind of get this purple hue on the outside. Again, I think there's a purple connection for the glasses character as well, but we'll talk about her when we get there. Again, the feelings of his death, the feelings of us together, the feeling of the kind of morning coffee that we used to share, kind of swirling together, mixing together, and, you know, all this kind of feeling being put into it, right? What else does coffee do? Coffee gets you up out of bed. She doesn't have the strength to get up out of the bed here at this time. This is very purposeful as well. Outside, very cold feeling, very different feeling. And again, the animation is very good here as well. These colors again in the garden. Also very noticeably, this is a POV shot coming from out of the sky, like it's potentially somebody that had passed away coming down and having a look, peering in on what's happening. This is also exacerbated when we move through here and see the movement of that curtain. Potentially, again, it feels like there's some presence that used to be here, that wants to be here potentially in spirit, that can't anymore. Another really specific depressing one here as well is the presence of 2 gaming controllers. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't have 4 sets of hands. Or I don't have 4 hands. I don't have 2 sets of hands. That can only be for a partner. And again, that's still out like they used to be playing. Like you can't almost bear to pack it away. Yeah, this is going to kill me on the kind of rewatch here through the details, I think. From here, this explains the alcohol and the, sleeping in and the depression and the, endless cycle of it all. And now just all starts to fade into reality. Like that was just the one piece that clicked in, and now, yeah, I get what we're doing here. So now you look at the tissues as well, and you're like, oh, she's been crying because she's, like, heartbroken as well. Like, this is just terrible. I forget if her phone is smashed later. Potentially I should check that. Yeah, no, her phone was always smashed, so that's just a character detail. I thought potentially she got a little bit mad and started smashing the phone. Which, again, fair enough considering the circumstances. So now we have this shot here, which only kind of comes back later on, where we have the kind of boyfriend here on this side, reaching over, hitting that alarm as well. So again, now meaning through repetition and recontextualization, every single time she goes to hit this alarm and, hits it to snooze and that kind of thing, it's a reminder of what she doesn't have. She doesn't have that person to drape the arm over anymore and to hold her close during these kind of moments of the morning. That's why she looks kind of like confused and depressed and stuff. Now the emojis come into view here as well, I feel. This must have been like an in-joke between these two in some way. Like they used to communicate with a lot of emojis, and now she just associates her feelings with him with these kind of things. Because otherwise that would be kind of tacky. But I feel like we're trying to say something about that kind of relationship, and especially relationships between young people in the, 2020s, 2010s. She hits snooze on that alarm again and rolls back over. Again, I have no reason to get up and go now. There's no reason for me to actually, besides me being hungry here in a second, phone wallpaper as well, very clearly got that anemone flower as well. Now this one's curious. Chat room, follow me on this one. If I sent this set of emojis, that would mean I'm horny. Is that a read that's correct here? And again, it's like a tragic horniness here because, again, she doesn't have a partner at the moment. He implied passed away. She must have been pretty close because she's got the fucking ashes, or at least some of them. So, yeah, I just think here that she's like sad horny. She used to have a boyfriend and used to like turn over and give him a big smooch and stuff. But now I don't have anybody. So instead of wallow in that kind of depression, she then like gets up, kind of wiggles off the bed here, all that kind of glorious Naoko Yamada character animation stuff. And yeah, this is the first time we get a good look at one of the character designs. Very Moe blobby, almost K-on-y in a little bit as well. And yeah, probably has just enough detail to make sense here. And again, people could probably like break down each and every one of these frames now and say, hey, like, she used to have somebody next to her brushing her teeth as well. She used to have the toothbrush here as well, This all comes at a stark focus in that kind of last section, but we build meaning through repetition one last time and see what actually happened when the boyfriend was also here. Again, all this kind of morning ritual stuff feels a lot more special when there's somebody special with you doing it, I think. I also like this kind of general aesthetic of the spiral coming through in the coffee again, right? Pouring my milk into my coffee, making it a little bit less bitter, a little bit more sweet. Yeah, there's something there with the boyfriend too as well. Like he used to be the milk to my coffee, I guess. Used to be the reason I got up out of bed and all that kind of stuff. Even a little love heart in the coffee there, just to exacerbate what I was talking about as well. Goes to eat her egg. Oh no, it slips off. She can't do anything right. I like to think that she just went to bed at that point and kind of restarted the next day. And from there, you've kind of seen it, at least to the midpoint of this thing. We go through various sets of repetition on it. Lots of cute t-shirts and all that kind of stuff, but again, there's not much else to see there. Again, I'll shout stuff out as I see it. Just again, maybe packing the console away a little bit more tidy, but also a little bit less tidy in other areas too. The tragedy for me is in the lack of anything else shown here, right? And again, in kind of general with the kind of condition of the apartment, as I've talked about, I think that she's like not leaving this place. Like she feels like she almost needs to mourn and atone while she's here, considering this location's importance to that relationship. Like she feels almost trapped here, which again makes the moving out conceit at the very end of the short very powerful, I think. Because again, everybody has a morning daily routine, but that's not the entirety of my day. That's not the entire experience I would communicate to somebody if I was trying to tell them about my life. Which again, this is kind of what the short is, telling us about this person. They're being characterized with depression, spirals, and kind of like repeating the same thing every day, you know? Even here, just the kind of soft circular motion of brushing your teeth. It looks cute in the moment, but it's actually fucking tragic. More than anything else, I think the tragedy of it all is that she isn't even crying. She doesn't look like sad or like mournful or anything, right? She's just kind of there. She feels like she almost has to be there as a show of respect in a lot of ways. Weird. It's just, yeah, it's a different kind of depression, I think. Music through this section obviously builds and builds and builds. Kind of similar motifs are taken into the second half of this thing when we kind of explode in this kind of wider soundscape, I would say. Yeah, a few things here and there are changing about the apartment. Like over here's changed a lot, and, you know, this has changed, and yeah, but it's the same shots, it's the same thing, just different paint, I feel. Even literally at points, because I feel like these are all just same recolors of the same room again. We have to shout out the obligatory Naoko Yamada shot of girls' feet/legs. Again, this one's showing almost like a reckless abandon or a carefree attitude, something to that effect, I feel, as she kind of eats her toast. Very plain looking toast, by the way. She's just kind of sitting gleefully, almost, like not moving on purpose, like convincing herself that nothing's wrong. It feels like there's a recklessness to the swinging of the legs, which shows somebody that has lost all care and meaning, maybe. Yeah, potentially. Again, that's just one of many interpretations, which I'd love to hear yours. We then go inside the flower then changes color, and we change location somewhat to a different character who's living a very different life. We hear a very sparse piano as opposed to the guitar-driven stuff that we've had through the rest of the thing thus far, and we meet a different character. She seems to be a florist of sorts, I think, a very methodical type of person, a wide-ranging meal, various different things. Again, very different to the repetitive breakfasts we've seen thus far. So I think you just live alone and really like this flower, I think. I think that's her vibe. And again, we're directly comparing these two. Potentially a chance encounter between these two people that don't even know each other will influence you to go on your own personal journey. Which I guess shows how the smallest interactions can actually have huge impacts on people's lives, can purely change their perspective. You never know how important one singular interaction is going to be. And kind of sitting boredly at the table, she then gets up. We get a little kind of snapshot of her painting for but a moment, and then she picks up the guitar, where she plays a somber little tune, a little ditty to herself, which again probably hits a larger musical motif that becomes present later and becomes associated with the boyfriend. I feel like whenever she's doing this artsy kind of stuff, she is channeling some of his feelings, right? The feelings that she had for him, the memories of him, the experiences they shared, how very intrinsically tied they were to music. Remember all the dancing and stuff? They're probably not dancing to nothing. This is where I start to get confused a little bit, because then we see 3 cups. We see, because you're strumming, 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cup. So again, boy accounts for one of them, but I think the other cup is lady. So maybe this 3rd cup is boy, I think. Because then we start to see the blue and the purple anemone, which again are about anticipation, kind of new beginnings, spring, all that other kind of stuff. We also get our first shot of nighttime, giving some nice contrast to the piece, again, which has largely been placed in the morning at around 8:30 a.m. A singular black cat gazes up at the moon. Potentially, again, this is me gazing up into the heavens for somebody that has passed. Again, the black cat being being associated with kind of bad luck and bad omens, that kind of stuff too. And again, kind of channeling pain through art, maybe even like a Starry Night Van Gogh type thing to it again, because he was a very kind of formative artist for a lot of people, I feel. Very storied history and life that he put into his art. And again, if we're talking about this main character, kind of strumming the guitar and painting a little bit and feeling these emotions from it, that's kind of in a very similar ballpark, I feel. We get our first piece of diegetic sound of the film of the ice of the whiskey kind of bouncing against the glass. I think that's very purposeful. Alcohol's weird here. Because again, I feel like it's a numbing of the pain. It's kind of like a coping mechanism for the death. But also alcohol characterized the lovely experiences that I had with the boy as well, so again, it's kind of a double-edged sword there. She's trying to remember him, but also trying to, like, kind of mask the pain, I guess. Animation through this thing's just killer, by the way. Really love this moment, too, where we kind of had the arrows on screen to demonstrate the kind of direction of either liquid. The last time I saw that was Utena. Arrows on screen? Arrows on screen is crazy. I think it's very, it's in the same ballpark as the emojis, I think. She gets up, she goes to the bathroom, she's still kind of feeling herself, and we start to get some lyrics here. Someday I'll die. And now she's on one. She's had a drink. She's gone to the bathroom. Then she gazes over at the guitar, again linking that guitar intrinsically to boy. Someday I'll die and my body will change shape, excuse me. Caressing the guitar here as well, changing some of the tuning on it. To the soil, the sea, or the air it will go. What, my ashes? Correct. And become part of the earth. So again, it's interesting because she's had this drink and she's like, you know, looked at the guitar and maybe processed it a little bit. And this is the first time we actually see her outside as well. She walks past this florist, right? Only for a moment she notices the blue and the purple anemone, right? Which again have this very specific link to her and boy. And again, that's only a chance encounter. She didn't mean to, like, you're not even trying to sell them really. You're just like, and you're not even a florist, I don't think. You were just a customer. Made it look like you were a florist. No, you're the florist. You're not a florist. Excuse me. Yeah, you just bought these flowers as well because I think you liked them. So these flowers probably hold some kind of significance for you as well. Not that I'll speculate on right here and now. We then get a kind of flashbacky tone to this where we see her drawing this particular flower. Again, this will come back by the very end. Kind of that flower and the association with the boy, very much so. And again, as I've talked about the flower language of it all as well. Everything's a bit messier in this room here without me. So you brought order to her life through your presence almost? Yeah, or disorder with you not being there as well, I guess. I don't need a cucumber horse. Excuse me, what is a cucumber horse? Cucumber horse is a Yu-Gi-Oh card? I don't think it's that. I'm imagining it's like a cucumber with like kind of toothpicks in it or something. Anyway, now we firmly flashed back, I think. Well, not quite yet. We flash back when we surround by the ash, right? Now you just liked the flowers, so you ordered some. You're like, this would be a nice kind of splash of color, right? And of course, those flowers then having their associations with boy. Now we're flashing back. Either way, cucumber horse or eggplant cow, of course. If you go to the beach, we can meet. Because some of my ash is in the fucking ocean. If you can see the sky, then we can talk. That's what they say anyway. I really should have been reading these lyrics. They're just directly about the guy dying. Talking to the sky, talking to the sea. That's where I'll be buried. Like, this is clearly what this is about. And again, here we get a pretty elaborate sequence. I really like kind of this into this into this. Just kind of this connection through this flower between us. Because my read is, I don't even know you, bro. You're just some rando. And that's fine. I think the random encounter makes it even better, that you just had these flowers and that inspired me to go on my little journey of remembering everything and all that kind of stuff. Again, like the language here shows that the conduit for you even remembering this is you, I think. And then all the colors combining into that flower, of course, again, into that memory, all the different colors of that different variation of the anemone. And then the guitars pick up speed and we go into our kind of musical montage sequence through here. Some of the most elaborate animation in this thing is through this section as well, so if I don't shout it out aptly, then it's really good. It's very good. It's clearly very good. Yeah, this is when we really pick up steam, and I guess the reveals of this thing start to take shape. Because then we start pouring ash from our little urn into the Garden of Remembrance, titular. From there, I kind of get transported back and start remembering this person. Again, maybe the presence of that flower has given me the strength to want to start to remember this stuff and process things and move on. I feel like that's kind of the direction, right? Like, okay, in getting these flowers and planting some of them and doing this kind of thing, I feel like I can finally move on, at least a little bit. Hey, smile, isn't it strange? I thought I heard you saying weird things to me. So again, if the first half has this real kind of swingy melody to it, where this one's very like do 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 do, like the strumming's very actiony. Again, propulsive, kind of young love type feel to it, right? It feels like the relationship in motion as opposed to it grinding to a halt, which is kind of the first half, which again gives the thing this weird kind of structure, right? What if like the start of Up kind of started with the kind of scenes after the death, if that makes any sense, right? And then went into all the other stuff after that. Again, I don't dislike it. I think it works here structurally, but it's just odd, and it kind of throws you for a loop. And again, I take solace in the fact that I'm not alone here. Many people have said that they didn't get it, and yeah, I can see why, I guess. Anyway, she thinks she hears kind of a boom coming from the closet, which she's kind of kept sealed up to this point. She then kind of breaks that seal, and we get a lot of animation put into it as well. Big kind of 3D turn there. Swing this thing open. Oh shit, I'm reminded of everything that happened with this boy. Again, flower petals everywhere. That particular flower. Kind of after I was kind of painting it for a time as well. Again, he kind of waltzed into my life out of the closet, you know. Once again, I was keeping him bottled up in there. But maybe I actually did. You're not supposed to be here, but you're right there. So this is in kind of follow up in the lyrics to this kind of, hey, I thought I heard you, but I'm not sure that I heard you, right? I must be hearing things. Oh, wait, no, maybe I did. You're not supposed to be here, but you're right there. Right as she kind of opens this closet as well. Behind the door you just opened, the poppy anemones whirl around. That's fun. I was right, kind of. Is anemones just a type of poppy or something? Anyway, I digress. Yeah, and then it just becomes very gorgeous. I get reminded of the memory of boy. I won't pretend like I don't see you, which is what I had been doing in the first half of this thing. I will see you. I will meet you on a level. I will confront these feelings that I had for you and the feelings of loss that I still have and all this other kind of stuff. This is all very beautiful now. I really like this sequence now that I understand it. But now that I've realized I was right to be hurt, from me to you to someone else. And yeah, we start kind of surfing on all the kind of flower petals here. We're kind of in this kind of expanse, I guess you would say, as we're grasping onto the different memories of Guy. Someone there lovingly blooms for me in the garden of flowers that are the memories of love. It's a beautiful lyric there as well. I really like that. This is the most standout, I think, animation sequence through here. If I can grab it. Kind of all of this stuff is just brilliant. Yeah, just holy fuck does it look good. And again, you just know good animation when you see it and that kind of stuff. Here we start to build again, meaning through repetition. Let's reverse all this stuff we've seen earlier. This should indicate to the audience, if they were switched on, that we're going back in time now. And we're going back to what it was like before all the stuff we'd seen already in the kind of runtime of the thing. Yeah, now we're firmly there. These two kind of sitting on the step there. 2 cups there, finally drawing this third flower into this image here as well. Guitars are just going crazy at the moment too. Love the decision to have a guitar actually there in the scene too, kind of giving meaning to the non-diegetic soundtrack here, right? Like, when it's kind of comes into the guitar solo and they're really pronounced and all that kind of stuff, you then have that automatic emotional association with that particular person there as well, right? When I'm kind of through the flower being the conduit for it, I'm like reopening this closet, seeing all these memories of this guy. I hear the guitars, the blaring guitars we used to dance to and used to play with from all the way back in the day. It just works. It works brilliantly well. This is my favorite sequence though, right? The silhouetted sequence. Like these fireworks of flowers in the back, right? As these two, this happy couple, just had night after night of happily dancing kind of in their little apartment there. So through all the seasons too, there was like the flowers blooming, and now we have autumn coming through, you know? Like they were together for a long time through thick and thin. Even the snow there. I want you to feel close to me because I'll always be with you. Oh my god, these lyrics are heartbreaking. Oh, this is just... This thing's fucking crazy now. I didn't know it was like this. Yeah. This is just really good, I think. And now here's the piece de resistance, as I was talking about kind of through the early portions. This is when the meaning through repetition gets paid off. We see why those scenes felt so strange, why they felt so kind of stagnant and isolating and all that other kind of stuff, right? Where it felt really mundane and like the doldrums and all that kind of stuff, right? It's because of the lack of boy. You go back and you look at all those frames, there's so much space. There was somebody that was meant to be there, but they're not there anymore. And again, you coming to understand this, right? Why it feels so strange now is the lack of him, and you processing that through this ending sequence, and you're like embracing of everything that he represented, right? Like that leads to you eventually being okay about this and moving on, finding your own personal spring out of the winter that was already there. And again, it's shot for shot. We have 4 sausages here instead of 2. We have 2 eggs here instead of 1. 2 cups of coffee, 2 people sitting at the table eating kind of toast here. Maybe we'll get some payoff for the leg swinging. No, not yet. You just need someone to clean your mouth, I guess. A warm embrace while I was painting. Now again, that kind of connection between the art and the boy. Him playing the guitar, me watching along. The flower and its significance here. Again, the rotation feels like it's actually got some like synchronicity to it now as well. It feels like it's actually got meaning. It's not just mindless. It's not just brushing my teeth because I have to brush my teeth. It's brushing my teeth because I get to brush my teeth with the person I love. And again, a small kiss on the lips before he leaves. And then I don't think we like see him again. And then I get flung into my room like that. And yeah, that final explosion. This is like back to reality, I guess. That final explosion kind of out of the closet, through the apartment, into out here. That's kind of me experiencing all the memories through this part, right? And now I can say it, right, in the lyrics. Like, now I can say it. I've kind of moved on. I'm past this, all this other kind of stuff. This kind of general sentiment of the rest of this thing. Now that I've re-experienced everything that was already there, I kind of lay in the aftermath of the whirlwind, of the disaster here, and I pick up the pieces, you know? Now I can say it, I love you. That confession here being very important too. The blending of the two of them too, the kind of blue flower and the red flower here to make the purple. That's how you kind of demonstrate the significance of that color as well, I think. I love you, and this is goodbye. Our character here actually mouthing the words here as well, which I think is the first time we've seen anybody enunciate something in this thing. I love you, goodbye. It's as simple as that. And again, this is like the moving on. Even the emojis actually have like a lot of meaning there now too, because that's like the cute thing that they did. Like emojis with each other. Now like he's almost like emojiing from the afterlife in a way. Yeah, finally holding that purple flower, letting it go, kind of containing both the colors of me and the colors of you, letting it go in the wind. I'm finally okay with everything. So again, you think about that in kind of combination with this sequence here, right, where we're throwing the flowers. This seems very haphazard. All the colors are kind of disparate and kind of not blended and all this other kind of stuff, right? They're very distinctive. I can't quite put all the pieces together of this relationship, and it's just left blank. But now we finally have that one kind of final purple flower. We throw that up in the air and move on. We're done here, right? Everything's been combined. I've processed everything, and I'm finally able to move on past my own personal winter and into my own personal spring. The guitars here also winding down, chugging down. It feels like somebody's almost like pulled it out of the amplifier. And yeah, beautifully tragic first-person shot. You'd have to imagine that this young couple, when they first bought this property as well, they would have experienced something very similar, or rented. You don't know. You never know, I guess. But let's see this blank slate for another new relationship to blossom, right? This is the garden of our remembrance, right? Where we had stuff on the wall. It's like got the stuff where we were here. Kind of this is the place where I moved on from him. It's got special significance, right? But it's also sun rising and sun setting at the same time, bringing in a new couple, bringing in a new person, a new experience, a new set of memories to be made in this garden of remembrance, you know? And yeah, we kind of end the piece there on those two walking in. A small view here of the ocean, and the title card, Garden of Remembrance. And yeah, finally, even that piece on display, instead of that canvas being faced against the wall, we're finally displaying the 3 flowers, right? That piece that I'd been working on and couldn't quite finish. And again, finally adding that purple flower, the processing of both of these emotions into the one, right? That's what I see here. That is my kind of read. Even the kind of gradient blend on the titles here is significant in that regard. A calmer set of blues, a new horizon, a new ocean. Again, I'm imagining, because there was an ocean outside of the window of their apartment before. So this is like the protagonist's new place, right? Significance here, of course, as well being the ocean. Ash is going into the ocean, and ash is signifying the death and looking up to the sky. The sky having significance here as well. I feel like I can always talk to you and have those words if I'm close to both of these bodies. Again, it's a real sea change. It feels, again, like a new beginning, and she's moved on. But in like a healthy way. And I think, yeah, we'll end it there. Clearly, again, I just like didn't understand it the first time through, like at all. And when I did, it became brilliant. So yeah, it's a hard way. I'm pretty sure the reaction element of like this video sucked. So sorry about that. This thing's really good. I just didn't get it at first. Yeah, I liked it. Naoko Yamada's good, I think. Yeah, animation good, story good, kept me on my toes. Music good. I should look up who did the vocals, excuse me. Yeah, they're just the singer, Japanese singer-songwriter. Yamada must have been a fan. Do we have anything on Garden of Remembrance here? Not at all. Yamada? No, nothing at all. Sure, she must just be like an actual artist then. Yeah, okay, cool. I really liked the song, and I thought the lyrics were really nice. So yeah, shoutouts to her. Yeah, okay. Describes herself as a youthful rock gal. Very true. Yeah, get me out of here, but that's interesting too. I liked the song. I'll be back next week for whatever wins the poll. But thanks for watching these kind of one-off movie things with me. I guess I'll throw this in with that kind of stuff as well. This was quite good. I enjoyed this. So again, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. And brush your teeth. Eat your eggs. All that kind of stuff. And I'll catch you later. Goodbye.